stack. So I'm really excited to go over some more properties that we'll be using a lot with that we can change using JavaScript a lot. So we are going to see an example where maybe we can have different images that we can switch between using JavaScript. So we can alter what's being displayed on the page by modifying the HTML directly. And then I also want to talk about how we can modify the CSS as well. We have access to both of those two things from JavaScript. That's part of what makes JavaScript so magical, is that it's like this amazing glue that just brings everything together and in such an amazing way. And yeah, I think you probably want to see the code. So let's do that instead. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so for this one, we are going to work on a project I'm calling Cat versus Dog. And I think what we're going to do is open that folder. Let's find Cat versus Dog. Very good. And we have a couple images in here already, one for a cat, one for a dog. And I'm going to create our index.html first. I think we need a style.css. We'll see if we need it or not. If we don't, we won't need it. And script.js, we definitely need that one. So I'm just gonna name all those. In our index.html, we're just going to call this cat versus dog. Maybe I'll have an h1 tag at the top of the page that says cat versus dog, just so we know what we're about to do. Yeah, maybe something like that. And we're going to have an image tag. And I think we'll let the cat start out, cat.jpg. And I'll just call this fave animal. I think, yeah, for me personally, cat is kind of the underdog in this battle. So it's good to give cat a chance to start out on the page. Cat as the underdog. That's funny. So we're going to put buttons here for pick cat and pick dog. And with these two buttons, well, I want to run some sort of function when I click on them. So on click, like we're used to seeing. And I'm going to call this function, well, I think pick cat sounds good. And I'm going to do more or less the same thing for the other function. Pick dog instead for that function. All right, so that looks fine to me. I think we can view this in our browser. Just going to bring it up. I need to bring it over. Already I see kind of an issue. Like these two buttons are inline elements, but so is an image. I really want them to kind of be below the image. I think that'll look better. So let's, kind of the easiest way to do that is just put them in a div. Remember how divs are block elements, and we don't need to worry about styling the div. We can if we want to. But these two elements will now be below the previous. And that's all I wanted. So pick cat, pick dog looks good. What do I want to do with it? So yeah, this is my usual pattern. If I'm remembering, I'm doing JavaScript on this assignment. I want to have my console open. And if I click on one of these buttons, pick cat is not defined. Pick dog is not defined because I haven't written these as code yet. So let's make those. Pick cat. I'm just going to have it console.log cat for now. As long as something exists, we won't see the error. Or hopefully we don't see the error. So if we pick cat, well, we still don't have it defined. So we've written the code for it, But much like when working with CSS, we still need to make sure we link our script in. Yeah, let's take this one. Script.js. And it should be called script.js. And let's take a look again. Yeah, so cat exists now. It counted 3 times. So I can now think about how I can change this element. So if you remember the last lesson about query selector, this will seem pretty standard, I think. I'm going to call this the animal image because it is an image tag and it makes sense to me to call it that. And I'm going to select it by saying document.query selector. I don't really have a good selector on this. What if I had multiple images in the page? I really only want to change this one. So I think ID would be good on it. I'm going to call it the animal ID. The fave animal ID. I like that, fave animal. And we're going to fave animal. I like it. And then I just want to make sure that this is getting loaded. So I'm going to console log animal image. When I'm working with code that I'm not sure about, I always want to console log everything so I can see, is it getting found? Is it running as I expect it to? Because sometimes you'll find it's null, meaning that when we tried to select something with an ID of fave animal, it didn't exist. It exists in our code here. So what's happening is our script runs before this image tag is even on the page. And if I move my script below the image tag, then the image exists for us. It's kind of awful to put it mid HTML like this. They don't display in your HTML, so it's fine for them to be here. But I'm just going to just kind of put it at the bottom of the page. It'll be safe there. And anything new I add in, I just make sure I leave it above this script tag, and I think we'll be fine. Okay, so we have that. Yeah, that was still going to work. So we have this pick cat, pick dog button, and our files are called cat and dog. So what I really want to see, I think, is instead of seeing cat, what if I could see animal image dot src? So src being the source of the image. We're able to access these things like source and alt and ID from JavaScript by using this dot syntax. There's a lot we can do, but this is one of those things we can do. You'll usually have to look it up if you don't know specifically for that specific situation how to access it, but for a source, it's going to be just that. So now if I click on this, it shows me the full-on path to it, but the cat.jpg is the part I care about. So what I really want to do to pick a cat, well, let's pick both animals, pick dog or pick cat. I want to change what the animal image.src is. So this is an interesting thing. If we just console log it, we see what the variable is. But if we set it equal to something else, like cat.jpg or dog.jpg, dog.jpg, then it will work as we expect. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of those console logs because I think this will show us what we're expecting to see. So we already have a cat, so let's pick dog. The image is really big. So I think we should, yeah, I think we're going to need a little CSS on that. So yeah, we can use our fave animal selector. It's going to be the same sort of selector for our CSS as we use in our JavaScript. And what I want to say to it with this one is let's just give it a overall height of 200 pixels. Yeah, because that was really big. And if I'm using style, I need to make sure I link it in. So link in my style sheet. And let's give this another try. Ah, that's really good. Okay. Okay. I think I'll make this into a part 2. So I'm gonna wrap it here. But we can access the HTML and manipulate. We've seen we're able to change the text with inner text. In fact, we could even use inner HTML if we wanted to make it have brand new HTML elements, which is really exciting. Something you should definitely check out in the optional goal assignment for the day, Pac-Man. It's really a favorite. It's a dojo classic. But inner text will do what we need it to for pretty much everything that we're going to see right now. And well, we can also now access these attributes. These if we have a input, we can access its value. If we have a image, we can access its source. It's really kind of amazing how we can just reach in and get this information. And it's not purely the ability to get it. We can also edit it. We can also remove it if you want to. So we'll see some of that in the coming assignments and the coming challenges. So look forward to those. Bye.